Morning guys, as Laura said, I'm Paddy. I work at Distilled in the London office. We're going to kick off MozCon with a session about link building. But I wanted to start off and be really, really honest about something to do with link building. I get a little bit frustrated sometimes by SEO bloggers and presenters talking about link building, and they make it sound so damn easy. It's always the same message, right? Build content and you get links. Have a blog and you'll get links. Have a community and you'll get links. Now, whilst those things aren't untrue, they're not quite 100% true either. It's not that straightforward. It's not that easy for most of us. It's easy for these guys. These guys have the influence, they have the trust. They have been around a long, long time. These guys can just push out content. They can push out content and it will get tweets, it will get shared, it will get traffic, it will get links. Because people trust these guys. People trust them enough to just link to them without really thinking about it. SEO mods are up there for two reasons. One, they're in this bucket. I really envy Ruth, the lead SEO at SEO mods. Do you think she has to do outreach for Rand's blog posts? No. I wish my clients were like that. The second reason those guys are up there, I'm not sure where Rand is. I'm assuming he's here somewhere. But hey, I'm going to pick on Rand for a few minutes, but I've got the microphone, so. Rand is guilty of making link building sound a bit too easy sometimes. He's told us a couple of times about the link building tool he's got inside the SEO Moz blog. It's called the publish button. He hits this button and he'll get a few hundred links. 1,000 tweets, 50 comments. It makes you feel sick. But the first time I heard this, I thought, wow, that's awesome. Rand, that's amazing that you've got that influence and that trust. Then I realized it doesn't really help me, does it? It doesn't really help my clients get more links. And the thing is, this didn't happen overnight. When I thought about it a little bit more, I realized this took time. Let's go back in time a little bit. 2007, a couple of Rand's blog posts. 4 thumbs up on the top one. 1 on this one, and that's from Rand. No one thumbed this up apart from him. Back a bit further. 2005, there were tons of these, loads and loads of these. Sorry, Rand. There were loads of them. I'm not going to get invited back to MozCon. No comments. No comments. There were loads of these. How many links do you think these got? 1. From SEOmoz.org, it was an internal link. It was Rand linking to himself. There was no external links pointing at these pages. Fast forward to today, things are a little bit different, right? Rand, doing better now, mate. This didn't happen overnight. This took 7 years for Rand to achieve. And it's because of this. This is right. This is what we should be selling to our clients. This is correct. I don't really care whether you call it inbound, whether you call it SEO, digital, online marketing. I don't give a shit. These things around the edge are the techniques and methods that got Rand to where he is today. Now these guys, the godfathers of inbound themselves, Dharmesh and Brian from HubSpot, and of course Rand, the inventors of inbound, the evangelists. What's the one thing these guys haven't got, which I bet 95% of this room, including me, have got? So one thing. These beautiful things. I still do these. I'm an SEO at Distilled. I'm not a director of search. I'm not head of SEO. I don't own my own company. I still do these every month for my clients. I'll sit there and do them. It's not my favourite job, but they have to be done. And so how many of you guys, struggling to see, but how many of you guys do SEO reports? Pretty much all of you. If you're doing link building, who reports on the number of links that you've built? Again, quite a few of you. Who has ever had to report that after doing link building work, you've got no links. Several times. It took me a while to learn. And I felt the pain. It's really hard to write a report, then talk to the client and say, hey, I spent 3 days of your time this month, didn't get any links. And the problem is, even the best clients, even the ones who get this, the ones who believe in long-term strategy and believe in long-term goals, all of a sudden, it doesn't matter. All of a sudden, all they care about is that report. And that's right. You know, they're paying us a fee on a monthly basis. If you're not delivering results month over month, they are going to get a little bit nervous and a little bit tetchy. And it comes down to this, strategy versus tactics. Now, I'm not going to get into a debate about the differences. I just want to demonstrate the point with a client example. The next slide that I'm going to show is from one of my clients. Sorry, excuse me. From one of my clients at Distilled. They were actually my first client when I joined Distilled over 2 years ago. They're still my client today. This is our traffic graph, organic for the last 2 years. Strategy alone wouldn't have got us to this point 2 years later. We would have been fired back here because you can see things weren't always perfect. There's dips. For 3 months in a row, the traffic just flatlined. Didn't really see any increases. But we kept showing the client tactical wins. We showed them what we were working on and how that figured into the big strategy. Those tactical wins kept me in a job at that point. I'd never have got all the way down this end. And because of this, and because I want to help you guys make those SEO reports look awesome, next 35 minutes, 35 tips to help build links. And the goal is to help each and every one of you go back to work on Monday, after MozCon, after the weekend, and build more links. That's the goal. And I'm going to make a promise. Now, there's a lot of you, right? There's like 700 and something. But if, at the end of this presentation, you don't feel that any of these tips, not one of them, is actionable for you, you can't use any of them for your clients, I'm here for the next 3 days. I'll be in every session. I'll be at the party tonight. I'll be at the party tomorrow night. If there's one Friday, I'll be there too. Come and find me. I will sit down with you and your website and my laptop, and I will help you find ways to get links and get results. Alternatively, this works just as well. So, being serious for a moment, there's actually a direct correlation between the number of pints of Guinness I drink and the number of link building tips I give away. It's true, honestly. Correlation equals causation in that case. So, I've always wanted to say that. Number one, okay, let's get going. This is a real example from one of our clients at Distilled. Now, I can't show you the actual client example, but I've still got one to show. Book bait. Book bait is like ego bait, but in real life. The concept is that you get 50 bloggers in your industry, you get them to input on a topic, answer a bunch of questions, give you some content. What most SEOs do at this point, they put all of that content into a blog post or an ebook. What we did for our client was we put all of that content into a real book and we printed that book. We sent it to the 50 bloggers who took part, and I can't show you the client example, but this happened to us. Our head of creative in London, Mark, he's an awesome guy. This was his first infographic, the data cake, on the right-hand side. This went huge. It got hundreds and hundreds of links. It's being featured in the MIT textbook as well. It's gone massive. These guys, I Love Charts, featured it in the book and sent him a copy. I live with Mark, and when he got that book, the first thing that he did was open the page to his contribution. Do you think he's tweeted about it? Do you think he's liked it on Facebook? Do you think he's linked to them? Yeah, he loves these guys now. He's their biggest evangelist, all because they took his content and made it real and made it tangible. And the same thing happened when we did this for a client. Number two, an embed code within an embed code. Within an embed code, you can go so many levels deep. When I was preparing for this presentation, I kind of felt like this. And I want to try and explain it a little bit better. This is what standard embed code looks like. You copy and paste it onto your website, you get an infographic showing up. What if inside this code was the code for this embed box? So that when someone copies it from your website, they not only get your infographic, they get this box as well on their website. So if traffic goes to that website and wants the infographic, they can grab it really easily, but it will still link back to you. To make this actionable, here's a little tool for you guys to use. This will be available afterwards as well. This is an embed code generator, but it will also generate the code for the embed box. And it will also give you a preview live on the page. So you can see what I'm talking about. Even if you don't use it straight away, you can look at the concept. Number 3, photos get links, and I'm going to prove it. This is another real client example from Distilled. This is one of my clients in the UK. So these guys, they've got data centers all around Europe. They've got one data center in the heart of London, right in the middle of the city. As you guys are aware, the Olympics are about to start in London. Should be fun. I'm kind of glad I'm here. And they realised that because of their position in the city, during the Olympics, their workers, these guys, their engineers, would struggle to get into the data centre. So they put these sleeping pods inside the data centre for them to sleep in, so they didn't even have to go home. They avoided that commute into work. The PR company went in and took a bunch of these photos. There were loads of them. They sent them out to a bunch of sites, didn't get many links from it, they didn't ask. But what I did, I actually achieved the best link building conversion rate I've ever had through this campaign. Okay, I didn't get hundreds of links, but 15 links from 16 emails, I was happy with that. It took me about 60 minutes to do this. 2 ways that I did this, which you guys can use. I set up Google Alerts for the name of the story and a few variations of it. And I also used Google Image Reverse Search to find those photos and see where people had used them. I then emailed those sites and said, hey, you've used our photo, thank you. Can you just put a credit link under the photo? 15 out of 16 did, and the one that didn't linked to the press release, which isn't terrible. And these weren't small links. These are good sites. These are strong, relevant sites in their niche. This isn't just some spammy blogger or some low-level blog that no one's heard of. These are good sites that we got links from. And the conversion rate was crazy because photos get links, because they work. Number 4, a couple of really quick ones. If your competitors are doing guest posts, and let's face it, they probably are. Let's face it as well, they're probably lazy. They use the same byline. Copy and paste part of the byline into Google, and you'll find all of the other places that they guest post. This is so true. I did this yesterday. I found an SEO company who are in the room. I found one of their guest posts. I Googled that snippet and found about 40 other sites where that SEO company have placed guest posts. I know that's quite actionable. You can still go and approach those sites, but I love being sneaky like that. It's awesome, especially for other SEO companies. Number 5, if you want to take this a step further, take your competitors' backlinks from Open Site Explorer, put it into an Excel doc, put that into a Google custom search engine, and you've got your search engine for your competitors' links. You can search for things like guest posts, competitions, sponsored links. You can mine all of those links and pull out the opportunities which you can use as well. Number 6, a couple of really quick ones. Finding guest post opportunities quickly is essential. Here's 3 ways you can do that. Blogdash.com, sign up for it, it's $20 a month, and you can browse over 100,000 websites that accept guest posts and accept stories, and you can pitch them your story from within the interface. Bloggerlinkup.com is a mailing list. You sign up for it, and 3 times a week, they will email you with lists of websites that are looking for guest posts, sites that are looking to link to you, 3 times a week for free. Gueststar.com is a lot smaller than the other 2. There's about 600 sites in here at the moment. But from experience, the conversion rate from these sites is a lot better. I'm not quite sure why, if I'm honest, but when you contact these ones, they seem to convert a lot better into links. Number 7, if You work on a website that's behind a paywall, such as a magazine, such as a newspaper. The general way that you monetize that site is if someone comes from a search engine to your website, the first time they come, they will see an article, they will get to read it. The second time, they will get a pop-up such as this that will ask them to start paying to read the rest of the content. What if you were to apply the same concept, but for traffic from high authority blogs and websites in your niche? Let's take an example. If you had an online marketing blog, inbound, SEO tools, whatever, you might want to partner with someone like SEO Moz and get featured on this page. But the way that you partner with them, if you're a site that you've got paid content behind a paywall that you can't normally give away, partner with a site to give their visitors the first 3 articles for free. To make that happen, the site has to link to you. They have to link physically so their visitors can click through that link and get the content for free. You get a link, their visitors get free content, which I wouldn't get through a search engine, and the owner of the site gets happy users. Number 8, finding someone's email address quickly is essential if you're doing outreach. This is a Tout app. It's a little Google Chrome plugin. When you're on a page that has an email address on it, this little red flag pops up in the toolbar. You click on it, and you get that person's email address. Nice and easy. If you can't find their email address, Reportive can help. Now, the way that you're meant to use Reportive is you put someone's email address in, and on the right-hand side, their details show up. So Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. That's how you're supposed to use it. If you enter variations of someone's email address into this field, when you've got the right one, this shows up on the right-hand side, and you know you've got the right email address. Now, as much as I really wanted to put Matt's email address up, I'll let you guys find it yourself. I think he's got enough emails from SEOs right now. It took me 2 minutes to get those through. You can find anyone's email address. BuzzStream, I love BuzzStream. It's helped me build so many more links. Here's a couple of tips you can use for that. The panel that you can see here is from the outreach module. On the left-hand side is the details of the blog that you're contacting. On the right-hand side is the email that you're about to send. There's a little feature in BuzzStream which the guys haven't really announced yet, and it's really, really cool. You can click on this RSS tab, and it will pull in live the RSS feed of the blog you're about to contact. So you can customize the email in the same view. You can just pick out one of the titles and customize that email really quickly and really easily. The other thing it does is shows you the date. It shows you the date of the last published post. If that's more than 6 months old or years old, you might want to skip it and move on to the next one because it's probably a dead blog. You don't want to waste your time contacting it. The second thing I love about BuzzStream, it gives you the conversion rates of your templated emails. So you can see exactly which ones work, which ones don't, and which ones get the most links. If you're doing link building across a team and you're sending out lots of these emails, you've got to be measuring this stuff. And make it a KPI of your team to improve this number. Number 10, photos again. Making photos embeddable. So what usually happens when you have good photos on your website is someone will come to your site, just take a copy of it, use it somewhere else, and I probably won't link to you. Install a script on your site, so if someone right-clicks on one of your images, they get a little embed box such as this. They can just copy and paste it onto their site. This is actionable for you guys. There's a demo at the top URL, so you can go around and see how it works, and the script itself, you can download from that URL. Go away and use it, customize it to your own site. Passive way of getting links. This will be available afterwards as well. Number 11. One of my clients in the UK is doing this one really well at the moment. The guys sitting on top of the tank are the ones who own blogs. The condition of them going on that tank was that afterwards they would just write a little review of the day, which happened to include a link to the client. Not really, not dodgy, it's just taking people out, giving them a good time and building relationships. I love this one. This is so sneaky. So next, they're a UK fashion retailer. They sell men's clothing, women's clothing, that kind of stuff. They've got this really awesome idea, which is a blogger network, but a good network. If you're a fashion blogger, you can sign up for this program and get access to their products, their images, upcoming releases. All that you have to do in return is embed this badge on your blog. If one of your competitors is doing something similar to this, there's something you can do with this badge. Take the URL, put it into Google Image Reverse Search, and you'll get something like this. All of the blogs in their network that use that badge. People who love free shit and know how to link to you. They know how to embed a badge. They've done it. They know how to use embed code. They know how to link. These are the perfect people for you to reach out to and try and get a link from as well. Number 13, this is another awesome thing that happens. This is a retailer in Brazil. What this guy did, so he sells clothing. On each of the hooks on his pieces of clothing was a little digital screen. That screen pulled in live from his website the number of Facebook likes that product had. You're in a store, you're looking at a jacket, and you can see the Facebook likes on the jacket. Now, whether or not you think this helps him sell more jackets, I don't really care. As a link builder, this got him loads and loads of links because it's cool, it's different, it's innovative, and it started offline. It wasn't online, it wasn't blogger outreach, he just did something cool and told people about it and merged it with online. Here's another example. This was sent to me by Tom Critchlow. This is a pizza parlor in Distilled, that'd be awesome, in New York that sell gluten-free pizzas. On the counter, they've got this little sign that features local bloggers who talk about their products. What a fantastic way of massaging someone's ego and helping them to link to you more often and building those relationships. And this took 5 minutes to print. It's such an easy win. If you've got an offline store, find those local bloggers. This is another real client example. One of my clients in the UK pushed out this infographic. It was based around the soccer Champions League final back in May. What we did that made this infographic different and made it more successful was we asked soccer bloggers what they wanted to see before we'd even started the design. So we sent them a little bit of information, so a few headlines, a little bit of the data that we got, and said to them, tell us what you like, what you don't like, and importantly, what's missing. And then those guys that helped us, we just featured them on the infographic as contributors. So not only did these guys link to us because we gave them an ego boost, they embedded our infographic, but they made us create an infographic that was going to work because they told us what their community wanted. So we wasn't guessing, we wasn't saying, oh, this feels like a good headline, this feels like a good piece of data. We just asked them instead. They're the people we want links from. They're the people you should be asking to help you create your content. It's a surefire way of making sure you don't waste time creating content that no one cares about and therefore gets no links. Really quick one. This is from ForroWonk, so I think the guys are here somewhere. If you're a writer for Mashable or TechCrunch or any other big site, you can't help but put that in your bio on Twitter. You're going to tell people about it. It's a nice thing to have. Search for things like this and these other variations. Trust me, you will find these people. You can start following them, start interacting with them, and start building that relationship. Another company I know in the UK did this for the Huffington Post. Built a relationship, within 2 weeks, one of their clients was featured. 16, Boomerang. Boomerang is a Gmail plugin, and there's 2 ways this helps you get more links. The first way is actually something which our team here in Seattle use quite a lot. We've got a link building team here in Seattle. They're here somewhere. They're awesome. Go and speak to them. But they struggle sometimes with being on the West Coast and outreaching to a UK site. Because as they start their day in Seattle, it's kind of the end of the working day in London. So it's not the most optimal time to reach out to someone. What Boomerang allows them to do is schedule emails to go out at certain times. So they can be sending outreach emails whilst they're asleep. And by the time they get into the office, they could have a reply. The second way Boomerang helps build links is the way that I use it all the time. When you follow up with someone, so when you email someone the first time, you don't get a reply. It happens quite a lot because people are busy. I have always got more links through following up with people than the first email. What Boomerang does, it will tell me when someone hasn't replied to my email. And it will bounce that email back to me. So when I get that email back, I can just reply to that person, combine it with Google canned responses, quickly insert a template, and follow up with that person within 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It's a really surefire way of making sure you follow up with every single person you've contacted, and it's really quick if you use Google canned responses as well. Number 17. This is another real client example of how Distill got links to one of our clients. We've got a client in the UK who are a debt financial kind of client. It's a little bit of a tough one to get links to because high authority sites don't really want to link to a debt website that's got calls to action on it, it's got forms to fill in, it's just a little bit messy. And we were trying to get a link from a newspaper in the UK to the client, and they just said no, we're not going to link to the homepage. So we created a profile page for one of the spokespeople at this company. Asked them again, would you link to it? Yeah, no problem. They just made his name a link to his profile page because the profile page isn't commercial. It's just his bio, a few pictures, more information. That's natural for a high authority site to do. They didn't feel like they was endorsing a debt website. They just linked to the guy that they quoted. The way you guys can make this actionable for yourselves, here's Will's profile page on Distilled. If I set up a Google alert for Will's name, I will get notified when someone pushes out some content with Will's name in it. I can then go to that website, see if they're linking to Distilled. If they're not, drop them a quick email and say, hey, thanks a lot for mentioning Will. Did you know he's got a profile page here? Would you mind making his name a link to his profile? That's a much more, less intrusive way of asking for a link because it's natural. It's not commercial. There's no commercial intent behind that, but it's still a link to your domain. Number 18, if you're doing any kind of content-based link building, you probably want people to tweet that content as well. When people do, use something like Topsy or Backtweets to keep a track of them. Go and see who tweeted your content. Click on their profile and see if they've got a website. If they have, contact them and say, hey, this piece of content you tweeted about, thank you for that. Did you know you can also embed it on your website? These guys will give you a much better conversion rate than just cold emailing a bunch of people who haven't even seen the content before. These people have already interacted with it, they've tweeted it, they've shown that they like it. It's just a small extra step to email them and say, do you want to embed it too, and give me a link. I love this one. Number 19. There's some hashtags on Twitter that PR people and journalists use when they're looking for information. One of them is called hashtag PR request. So they use that when they're looking for people to help them with stories. And I've got this set up in my tweet deck as a separate column, so I can just keep an eye on it. But me being me and getting distracted quite easily, I forget to sometimes check it. And by the time I've checked it, and I'll see something relevant to a client, it may be 2 days later, and I've lost the opportunity. What I've done is combined this hashtag with ifttt.com, if this then that. So those guys will listen to Twitter for tweets that include the word PR request and my keywords, such as travel. And it will send me an email as soon as someone tweets with those words. It will even send you a text message if you want to take it that far. Within minutes of someone asking for information about my niche, I can follow up with that person. And this works. These are a couple of tweets that I've picked out. If you've got a travel client, these are the perfect people to help, to give them information, to give them photos, give them quotes and interviews. You can download the recipe itself from that link. And there'll be a couple more later in the presentation. If you're an e-commerce site and you're not doing this, you're losing. Even if it's only an April Fool's Day joke. I mean, unicorn meat. Not only did this page get tons and tons of links and social shares, they probably sold some of it too. I mean, people probably bought this stuff. Number 21. I thought this one was a little bit shady at first, but it's not. I'll explain why. It's quite easy to build up a pool of freelance writers. There's lots of really good writers out there looking for work. You can go to Odesk, you can put an advert on your website. There's quite a lot you can do to get these guys on board. One of my clients in the UK has got over 100 freelance writers on their books. They can't possibly keep all of them busy all of the time. They've just not got that many jobs that need doing. What they could do instead is look at the fees these people charge, offer to double it if they not only write the content, but they place it on a guest blog elsewhere, linking back to you. This isn't paying for links. It isn't. This is like having your own freelance link building team who are paid on commission. That's all it is. They're not buying links from these sites. You're just paying them to write their content and put it elsewhere. 100 writers acting as your link builders. Even if you only get a handful of links a month, you only pay when you get a link. Number 22, tweeting at people at just the right time can get you a much better response. It can also increase the chances of getting retweets. This is a little tool called When Do They Sleep? I put Will's Twitter account into it, and it told me that apparently, looks about right, he sleeps between 11 PM and 7 AM, according to his tweets. Kind of makes sense, right? He's actually just had a baby, so that's probably going to be flipped around right about now. But the point is, you don't want to be tweeting at someone, probably a bit more popular than Will, a celebrity, someone who's got hundreds of thousands of followers at the time when they're not online, when they're not active and won't reply to you. You can action this one. Here's a free tool. This is just for MozCon, so copy down the URL because this won't be available afterwards. This is just for you guys. So Tom Anthony, one of my team in London, built this little tool for you guys. It will sit on your machine, listening for whatever Twitter user you want to tweet. As soon as they do, within seconds, it will tweet back at them with your message. Tom's had a lot of fun with this, tweeting at celebrities in the UK and trying to get retweets of our content. Within seconds, it'll do it. It'll sit there in the background on your machine, won't interfere with anything. Just go away and use it, give it a try. Number 23, go to meetup.com, search for the word blogger, and search for your area. You'll find stuff like this. I mean, music bloggers, design bloggers. If you're a fashion retailer, Design Bloggers Network Meetup, there's going to be 68 bloggers in the same place at the same time. I guarantee, if you go to that meetup and interact with those people, give them business cards, get their details, buy them a drink, have dinner with them, you will get a much better response rate than sending 68 outreach emails. And all you've got to do is go and have a drink. I mean, who doesn't want to do that? You just go and speak to them and say hi. If you want to take it a step further, sponsor the bar. Everyone will love you. Just sponsor the bar, drop your logo around the bar, or even run your own meetup. This is something most SEOs should be doing, in my opinion. Run a local meetup for local bloggers and give them SEO tips. You guys all know SEO. You know far more than these guys will. Just give them some basic tips. It's a perfect way of engaging with them on a level that's going to help them, and they will suddenly like you. Getting people to like you gets you links. Number 24, blogger competition with a twist. So the standard way that most people do blogger competitions is this. You write a post on a certain topic, and to enter the competition, you link to whatever the site is. That's what most people do. EasyJet, who are a UK flights website, did something really cool. As part of your entry, you nominate 5 other bloggers and keep the initiative going, keep the link building scheme going, because these guys are all going to link to you. What the perfect way of making this go viral without you having to do any extra work. You can follow up with them and email them if you want, but you don't have to. This is a great way of making sure that your competition goes viral. Number 25. Now, okay, live tweeters, bloggers, stop for a moment. This one is a bit shady. Gianluca, stop. Okay. I feel really bad talking about this on the MozCon stage, but my dreams come true. Talk about black hat stuff at MozCon. So this is my affiliate income from one of my websites for 2012. I'm not a very good affiliate. And I want to earn more than this. If you've got an affiliate program, find people like me. I mean, I'm never going to withdraw that. That's just going to sit there forever. I'm not really going to take it out. Find people like me Remember, at the moment, I'm linking to these merchants using horrible affiliate codes, horrible redirects. Google won't pass any link juice across those. Contact me and say, hey, we see that you've got an affiliate program, not sending much traffic. How about we pay you £20, £30 a month, and all you have to do, that's guaranteed every month, all you have to do is guest blog. On your blog, linking to us. We'll guarantee that income every month, rather than this. Oh, and just don't use your affiliate link. Use this nice clean link. It's not really buying links, is it? It's being creative. Creative link building. There's going to be a lot to this over the next 3 days. I think Martin's here on Friday. 26, broken link building. Most SEOs do this, but there's a little thing you can do extra, which I'm going to show you. So most broken link building will start off with a query such as this. So list of outdoor clothing stores in URL links. And you click through to result, and it shows you something like this. Use a check my links Google Chrome plugin, and it will highlight on the page links in green that are working, links in red which are broken. Now what most SEOs do at this point, they will contact the owner of this website and say, hey, you've got 2 broken links on this page, you should fix those. Oh, and by the way, can you link to me as well? That's what most SEOs do. We're not most SEOs. Run Open Site Explorer on these 404s. You'll get stuff like this showing up. Another 7 websites linking to the same 404. From one Google search result, you've got 7 link opportunities. You can even use the same template to email these guys. Just customize the name and the opening line. You can do this in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, outreach to 7 websites. Broken link building has a good conversion rate. The guys at SIA wrote a really good blog post on this as well. You should check it out. Number 27, this is the fun one. It's really quick. It's a passive way of building links. Most industries, whether product you sell, whether services you sell, you can find songs that have got the same kind of titles that are related. If you do pet insurance, you can find songs about animals. Yeah, you can. Create a playlist, make it embeddable, make it shareable, and stick it on your blog. It'll take you half an hour, and it's a great way of passively building links. I love this. This was so creative. So this is a company called Innocent, who are based in the UK. They do like health foods such as fruit juices, smoothies, vegetable pots. Not my sort of thing, if I'm honest. But they did this campaign. The more people that tweeted this page, the cheaper this product became. Until the point where when they had enough tweets, everyone who went to that page would get the product for free. What an amazing way of incentivizing sharing of a page. You get free shit if you tweet this page. And you know what's best about this? People will game this. People will tweet it over and over again to make that number go up. Fine, that's awesome. You want people to game it. You want people to tweet over and over again because their friends will then see it, who will then do the same. And you're getting what you want. You're getting social shares to that page. These guys also got links out of this. It got shared on a bunch of places, and it got covered by a bunch of marketing blogs who realized how good this idea was. You know, one of the best ways of getting links? Come up with an idea such as this and make a noise around the SEO conference and make one of the speakers talk about it. You'll get links that way. Number 29, the conversion rate optimizers in the room are going to hate me for this one, but it's good for link building. If you've got any kind of sign-up form on your website, add a field to it that's optional. You don't have to fit it in. Add a field that says, if you have a blog or a website, enter it here. You don't have to if I've not got one. Over time, you will build up a list of your customers who've bought your products who also have websites. Segment those into a different mailing list and hit them with things like blogger competitions, ask them for reviews, send them free stuff, give them stuff to embed. If they buy over and over again, you can see that in your database. If you can see a loyal customer, they're going to link to you. They're going to take your message and use it on their site. But without actually getting this information first, you won't know if your customers have got websites. Just add this field in. Number 30, geek bait. So Konami codes, if you guys aren't aware of them, You go to a website, enter these buttons on the keyboard, and it reveals something different. Like, it reveals something that's hidden on that website. Facebook used to have one, but I think they took it down. If you've got an e-commerce site, put a Konami code script on your site. There's scripts out there. There's a jQuery database, jQuery library as well, where you can get this stuff. There's also a WordPress plugin for it as well. Install the Konami code on your website, but every day change the code to activate a different product discount. So you're giving people a reason to come back to your website every single day because they want to see what discount you're giving away today. You can even make it extreme one day and say 1 day a week we'll give a product away at 50% off. People are going to share this. People are going to link to it. If you sell techie products, it's going to get eaten up on Reddit, maybe even Hacker News. These guys are going to click through and share it. Number 31, this is another if this and that recipe. Help a Reporter Out has its own Twitter feed, and they publish requests from reporters who are looking for sources of information, similar to the hashtags we talked about earlier. This will monitor that Twitter feed for whatever keywords you want. So you can see when reporters and journalists are looking for information. Within seconds, you'll get an email, you'll get a text message, reply to that reporter, who probably works for a good magazine or a newspaper, and give them what they want. And here's a page there's a bunch of these I put together for you guys. You can get it afterwards as well. There's a few on this page that you can go away and use. If you're not using if this and that, it's awesome. There's a bunch of stuff you can use it for. Number 32. One of the common objections I hear from SEOs when it comes to infographics is that they haven't got design resource or the budget to hire a designer. And that's fair. I understand that. That is a genuine problem that a lot of people have. Infogram allows you to build your own infographic in less than an hour. You can even put your own data into it. You can upload data, you can use spreadsheets, you can put charts, you can put headlines. It's a really cool idea. And you can produce quite a clean infographic, one that looks nice. It probably looks better than 99% of the ones that are produced. It will take you less than an hour. Now, whilst I don't encourage you guys to use this over and over again, because you're limited on the templates you can use, you can't do it forever. What I would encourage you to do, if you're struggling to get design resource and budget from your boss, produce an infographic using this. Do it really quickly. See if you can get a handful of links. If it does, go to your boss and say, hey, I did this. I'm not a designer. I did it in an hour. And it got these links. Imagine what would happen if we had a designer for a day or a developer for a day. That's going to help you sell in that idea because you've already proven the concept. You're just asking for that extra budget now to make it that little bit better to get more links. This one's awesome. So Amazon Wishlists, I'm sure a lot of you have got these. They allow you to search for anyone's wish list. If you've got a bunch of bloggers who you want to build relationships with, I don't know if this is a bit stalkerish, I'm not sure, but I don't know how I'll probably be happy if someone sent me some free stuff. Put someone's email address in here of a blogger you really want to impress. I tried this with Matt Cutts. He's not got one. I was really hoping to get it and send him something. Enter your blogger's email address into here. You'll find their wish list. Send them one of the products with a little note from your website. Comment on something they blogged about recently and say, hey, I thought this was awesome. Here's a little gift from yourcompany.com. Number 34, not far from the end. There's a huge section on Amazon, which is a little bit hidden away. When you leave a review on Amazon, you can create a profile page. You don't have to, it's optional, but there's a lot of guys out there, such as these. This guy's done, the guy at the bottom, over 1,000 reviews. These guys contribute to the internet. You can click through to these guys and see their profile. Problem is, not all of them have got a website listed on there. Not all of them have got an email address, which is a bit sad. Rather than searching through each one individually, use this advanced search query. Again, you'll get this afterwards. This will limit results to only profile pages on Amazon, but only ones that include the words web page or email address. And in this case, I've put travel in as well, because I want to segment by travel. Just on Amazon.co.uk, I've got 600 results. .com, 7,000. 7,000 just for the word travel. Do you want to see what one of these pages looks like? I've blocked out the email address and website, but you can see it's there. This person's email address and website is on that page. You can get all of these. You can see that she's interested in travel. You can see what she's bought recently. You've got your way in. If you're a travel website, I mean, can this get any easier? You've got the email address, you've got their website, you know what they like. And further down the page, there's a little tag cloud of the words they use the most, which give you things like the books they like and the themes they like. Seriously, guys, this one, you can action this one. Change a word that you can even use it on Amazon.de. All the foreign sites' results will lower, but you can do it in lots of different countries. Last one, number 35. So I'm going to play a video here. I'll let the video speak for itself, and then I'll have a few comments about it afterwards. Can we play the video, please, guys? That wasn't me that did that. I wish it was. I wonder how many of you guys, given the male-female split, what Kotex do. They sell feminine products. They sell tampons. I mean, please don't ever complain that you can't be creative with your products when these guys are doing stuff like this. That got them not only all those figures that you saw at the end, got them loads of links as well. So number 35, just one more. Erica's going to be chucking me off in a moment, but all of you can use this one, every single one of you. The idea behind this one, it's a search engine that only returns results that accept guest posts. Search for your keyword, and you only see guest post results. The reason all of you guys can use this is that it's here. You can download it, start using it. It's a Google custom search engine. Right now it searches over 1,500 domains. It's about to go up to about 2,500. It's going to keep increasing. I'll keep pushing it as hard as I can. Search for your keywords for your clients, travel, food, whatever you want, and you'll only get results that accept guest posts. I lied. Just one more. This is a list of over 1,000 sites that accept guest posts and their email addresses. You can download it from this URL. It's a Google Docs spreadsheet, so just download it, make a copy, use it. I'm asking you not to spam it, please. Please don't spam the list. Go to the sites, see if they're relevant, then contact them properly. Please don't just spam it. Remember I made a promise at the start, we've got a little bit of time for Q&A. If you don't want to put your hand up and ask a question, there's a break next, so come down, say hello. I love chatting about link building, so come and find me. Please remember what this does. This works, ultimately. This is how the guys at Distill get me to do stuff. They just give me that. And thank you very much for listening to me. I really appreciate it.
Can somebody just get a picture of me with a black hat? That was awesome. We do have a little bit of time for Q&A, and I apologize for the Wi-Fi. These guys are working on it, and speaking of getting scrappy, since we've been talking about getting scrappy, you know, if you're not using let's try this experiment, right? If you're not using anything, your Wi-Fi on your laptop or your phone, if you turn it off, maybe we can get a connection, maybe. So, you know, if you're really like super paying attention, you're not using that stuff, if you could turn it off, we could try it out, see if we can get one. If you super need a connection, like now gotta go figure something out or send a Q&A, just walk outside or go over to the Fifth Avenue room over there and you can get a connection. So for our Q&A, I think we're gonna have to do like raise your hand kind of thing. The real Q&A. And someone will come around with a microphone. We've got one over here.
Hi, Paddy, thanks for all these ideas, they're great. I'm Erica Miller and I'm with Adobe. And my question is more along the lines of like, how do you get your clients to become susceptible to these types of ideas? You know, what kind of tactics might you use in the communication between them? Because it's great ideas that we can apply, but if the client isn't receptive, what might you speak to in that regard?
Yeah, so it can be a little bit hard sometimes to get clients to sign off on some of this stuff, like the making up a fake product. You know, I can see why clients wouldn't want to do that. The key really is trying to educate the client on the value of this stuff, and particularly in clients who are in difficult niches, because some niches it's just really hard to get links without buying them. That's the reality we've got. So if clients want to not buy links and want proper links, you need to sell them the value of what you're trying to do and show them the difference it can make. And a really good way of doing it, show them compared to their competitors. No one wants to see them, their numbers of links lower than their competitors. It's that ego thing. The CEO of a company wants to beat everyone. They don't want to see they've got less links. So you're probably selling it in that way. I'd also try and sell in the idea as being as creative as possible and saying that we're not just looking to game Google, we're trying to actually make your company look good. You know, we want to make you guys look good on the internet. We want to project the right message about your brand. When you talk about it in those terms, it's a bit more like just marketing rather than SEO. They get that a bit more. Link building, a lot of them don't get it. Talk about it in marketing terms and exposure to the brand, they are more likely to get it, and I think they're more likely to buy into it. You're welcome.
Do we have some more questions? You guys raise your hands. There's one back there.
Hi. So specifically then, how do you bill your clients?
How do I bill them?
Yeah. How do you bill for work like this?
I don't worry about that but I'll just do the work. So seriously, we've got two types of clients at Distill, or two types of projects that we sell. We've got one-off projects, which could be a strategy piece, and it's normally spread over 2 or 3 months. So it'd be a one-off, really specific piece of work. So that could be a technical audit, it could be content generation, it could be link bait or link building. For those types of projects, we'll just charge a one-off fee and say, here's what we're going to do, here's the expected results, this is how much it costs. For ongoing clients, so the other type of client is retained monthly. For those guys, we'll do all sorts of stuff, but usually in the end, it ends up being link building. And again, we'll just charge a monthly fee for that work. We won't charge on a per link basis. We won't charge on page rank or stuff like that. We just say, here's what we're going to do. Here's how much it costs, and we'll do this every month. And we sell them the plan. So we plan what we're going to do, and we sell them that, and put a value on it. And if they like it, they use it. We don't kind of sell on per link basis. We don't really believe in that because it naturally lowers the quality of links if you start using those kind of numbers.
Which bar are you going to be at tonight?
Whichever one's closest. Hard Rock.
Hi, it's Steve Kroll from Rocket Clicks in Milwaukee. My question is for number one, for BookBait, who did you and your client use for publishing?
I think it was lulu.com. I think the books cost us about £3 or £4 each. They were about 70 or 80 pages, quite small, and then it cost us a couple of pounds for postage. I think about £7 or £8, so $15, $16, a bit more than that for each book, which for 50 adds up, but it was still worth it.
Awesome. When you're doing guest blogging, do you come from the perspective of an agency or the client, or do you have personas? How do you do that?
So we very rarely use email addresses from the client. We'll use distilled email addresses, and I know that a lot of SEOs say that doesn't work, but the way that I think about it is if I'm not prepared to outreach from my personal email address as distilled, I probably shouldn't be sending that email if I have to hide behind a persona or hide behind the client. Having said that, personas can work. I've messed around with them. I've got one for a separate niche that I work in. It can work, but just email. Don't be scared of using your own company email address. And I think that saying that you can't get links when you're outreaching as an SEO company is a bit of a lame excuse. And I've probably upset someone saying that. It's not an excuse for not getting links, is my point. And yeah, personas are great, but if you can't get them or you've not got time to set them up, don't worry about it.
Hi. A lot of the techniques and approaches.
Sorry, where are you? Sorry?
Way back
hello.
here.
Yep.
Hi. So a lot of the techniques and approaches kind of depend on the piece of link bait or the thing you've created getting uptake. And if you're dealing with a client who's ROI minded and you're trying to be predictive before trying to get buy-in for this type of initiative, I'm just wondering how you frame that and put that into we don't know exactly how far this will go. How do you convince a client of something like that?
It's really hard to sell that to a client because you're trying to sell something that isn't very tangible, and trying to predict the number of links that something will get is really hard. So what we try and do, first of all, we try and sell clients onto this on an ongoing basis. So it's usually, we try not to sell just one piece of link bait. We want to sell 3 or 4 over 5 or 6 months, big pieces that we really put effort into. And the way we try and sell this, and we be really honest, we say over the next 6 months, not all of these pieces are going to fly and get hundreds and hundreds of links. We only need 1 or 2 of them to do amazingly well, and it's paid for that investment, it's paid for that time. If you work it out, if you really want to put a monetary value on it, you can kind of reverse it and say, per link, this is how much you paid Distilled, or whichever company it is. You can do that. But we try and sell it as value over a course of 6 months, rather than here's one piece of link bait, here's how much it costs, and just put our finger in the air and guess the number of links. Because the reality is, our best pieces of link bait are the ones that we didn't expect to do that well. The ones which you kind of do quite quickly. They just fly sometimes, so you can't predict it very well. So we try and sell them a bunch of these pieces of link bait, and we know from instinct, from experience, that a few of them will hit. But we're honest with the client. We know all of them won't, but we're upfront about that.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Paddy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you.